Good morning. My name is Larry Ross from Dallas, Texas, Larry Ross Communications, and on behalf of my colleague Kristen Cole, who has talked to many of you, I want to thank you for coming, welcome you to the press conference to announce a groundbreaking new survey revealing evangelical attitudes towards Israel that was conducted by Lifeway Research in Nashville and sponsored by Chosen People Ministries and New York Times bestselling author Joel C. Rosenberg. The survey, as you'll learn this morning, was conducted objectively and professionally using best practices, which we'll be explaining here in just a moment. But much of the findings were positive and encouraging about evangelical support for Israel, while other results reveal the need for further education, particularly among younger audiences such as millennials and as well as minority ethnic communities, including African American and Hispanic. Our format today will include presentations from our four panelists who represent both the vision and the implementation of this unprecedented study. And they're going to highlight not only the results but outline next steps moving forward. I'm going to introduce them consecutively and then they'll make their presentations, and then I'm going to introduce two additional colleagues who will make comments about survey results relative to their affinity communities. So our first presenter today is Scott McConnell, who is Executive Director of Lifeway Research. It's a Nashville-based evangelical research firm that specializes in surveys about faith and culture and matters that affect churches. And by the way, we've got plenty of seats here. Dr. Johnson, if you want to join us, and others, feel free to take a seat. That after applying sound survey methodology and actionable decision-focused research for Fortune 100 telecommunications and utility companies, for the past 20 years, Mr. McConnell has led research and national polling that regularly measures the views of Americans, Christian leaders, and the church on religious and moral issues in society. Next to Mr. McConnell is Dr. Mitch Glazer, who's president of Chosen People Ministries, co-sponsor of this survey. Founded in 1894, this mission is headquartered in New York City and serves 18 countries around the globe. Since obtaining a Master of Divinity degree from Talbot School of Theology and a PhD in Intercultural Studies from Fuller Seminary, Dr. Glazer has authored numerous books and articles and speaks widely on Jewish evangelism and Messianic Judaism. Next to Dr. Glazer is Joel C. Rosenberg, who I mentioned is a New York Times best-selling author of 12 novels and 3 nonfiction books about the Middle East, and he's also a co-sponsor of this study. He's a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen who lives with his wife and sons in Israel, but he's well known as an evangelical in the U.S. He's the founder and chairman of a nonprofit educational and humanitarian relief organization, the Joshua Fund, and regularly meets with world leaders, including addresses audiences, including both national and international officials, and has appeared on hundreds of radio and television programs in the U.S. and around the world. And then finally, Dr. Darrell Bach is Executive Director for Culture and Engagement at the Hendricks Center and Senior Research Professor of New Testament Studies at Dallas Theological Seminary. He's a sought-after media expert. You've probably seen him on television, national television, on various religious topics. And he's also a New York Times best-selling author in nonfiction who's written or edited more than 40 books on theology and culture, including many tied to Israel and reconciliation.